understanding yourself, knowing your learning modalities, knowing how you study, how you retrieve information, how you remember information, how are you able to remember something quicker and easier is what will help you succeed academically. Not copying what your friend does, not copying what other people do, but doing you better than anybody else. I remember when I was a student as well, there was a time I see people going to the study world and they study throughout the night, and I tried to copy them. It never worked for me. I seen people studying in a very quiet room where even if the pin can drop, you are going to hear them. I tried to copy them. It never worked for me. Why? Because I tried to apply the modality which was not good for me. I tried to apply the learning style which was not a complement of the person or a student that I was. And I'm hoping that today's recording will help you identify your learning modality or your learning style. Greetings friends, Dr. Tish here, and I welcome you to the channel. And I want to talk to you today about learning modalities, or what we call the learning style. Most of the time when we hear people speak about learning style, what they will tell you, they will just give you a generic overview of how you should study. I've heard people, many YouTube videos, when they speak about learning style, what they will do, they will tell you and give you a method and tell you that you need to use mind maps, you need to write everything down, recite it out, and all that. But what I want to teach you today, that as an educational psychologist, as a psychologist myself, I've been in student support for many years, over 10 years. I've been working with students, helping them succeed academically. I've been helping them being able to study well at varsity and perform well academically. And I want to share with you some of the principles and tips that I've been giving them, and research-based guideline that can help you also succeed academically. Hi friends, just a quick break. I know you're enjoying this program, but I just want to answer some few questions about people who still want guidance on how to access the book. You know what I usually recommend, that make sure that you get an ebook. An ebook, you can get it on Amazon and follow their process. Just click on the link below this video and then follow their process, and you'll be able to get the book. I like the ebook process with Amazon because it is instant. You buy the book, you get it immediately on your gadget. But if you are in South Africa and you want to get a hard copy posted directly to your home address without leaving your house, all you have to do, there's a link below this video from our printers who were kind enough to help us with distributing the book. All you have to do, click on the link, fill the form, and they will be able to communicate with you on how to get the book. Usually it takes about 72 hours to get the book to you, and many people have been getting their book, so don't be left behind. See the links below this video on how to get the books, whether on Amazon or for it to be posted to your home address. Make sure that you get the book as quick as possible. Let's go back and enjoy the program. Basically, what that means is that we all learn differently. Now at varsities, there's what they have introduced. Almost every university, they've got what they call a student-centered approach. What the student-centered approach does is basically put you as the student at the center of your learning, which means self-awareness, understanding yourself, knowing your learning modalities, knowing how you study, how you retrieve information, how you remember information, how are you able to remember something quicker and easier is what will help you succeed academically. Not copying what your friend does, not copying what other people do, but doing you better than anybody else. I remember when I was a student as well, there was a time I see people going to the study world and they study throughout the night, and I tried to copy them. It never worked for me. I seen people studying in a very quiet room where even if the pin can drop, you are going to hear them. I tried to copy them. It never worked for me. Why? Because I tried to apply the modality which was not good for me. I tried to apply the learning style which was not a complement of the person or a student that I was. And I'm hoping that today's recording will help you identify your learning modality or your learning style, and so that you can use it and use it effectively. Now, what do we mean by the learning style? Basically, the learning style, there are three most common learning style that exist. Below this video, I'm going to put a link to a questionnaire that you can do that will help you identify the learning modality. If you don't understand that, get the results, do it. It's just a screening questionnaire that you can do. Anybody can do it. It will help you identify the modality. So there are three modalities that are the most common. The first one is what we call a visual learner, and the other one is an auditory learner, and the third one is what we call kinesthetic learner. So basically, these are the most common modalities that we all have. So all of you have got certain modalities. You have got a particular one that is most dominant. I've put a link below this video. That link should help you to be able to do a screening of the modality that is dominant with you. It is not a full assessment, but for this video, I want to help you at least to screen. So there's a link called screening for career modality. Check it below this video. It will help you go through that link and do the modality. It will help you at least have an idea of which one is dominant with you. Now, what is the difference between all of them? Now, the difference between the three of them is this, and this is the most important, because you need to identify which one is dominant. The minute you know that, you must then at least spend most of your approach or focus using that particular modality. So the difference between the three is this. The learners which we are calling visual learners. Visual learners, basically, these are learners, they learn a lot through visual, graphs, illustration, PowerPoint, videos, articles, and pictures. So the people who are visual, by nature, these people, they learn through visual inputs. So they need visual input. I remember when I was doing psychology in class, I used to have these people, they've got very colorful mind maps. And when I get their mind maps, I used to understand quicker than with my written notes, where I just write, a long list of things which I might not even remember. But every time I use their mind maps, I realize I retrieve and I remember information quicker. Why? I later realized I've got a visual memory. I'm a visual person. I remember even at high school. I remember even in undergraduate. I might not remember a particular book. I might not remember what the contents say of a particular construct. But I will tell somebody that if you can get a particular book, open on a certain page, and there's a picture, and I will describe how the picture looks like, and I will tell the person on the right of that picture, you will find the information that you need. That's a visual memory. It means you retrieve information visually. You are able to remember the picture, but even though you can't remember the contents, but you know the contents which are there. You'll be able to access that. Even some of the visual people, me, and I see that with me a lot. I'm a visual person. If I meet you for the first time and you tell me your name, I might not remember your name, but I will hardly forget your face. So every time I see your face, I'll know that I've seen this person before somewhere, but I will not remember your name. What makes me remember your face is a visual abilities. I am a visual learner. I'm a typical visual learner. You tell me your name now, I will forget it if I don't write it down. What that basically implies, even when you study, if I sit in class and I just listen like this, I'm likely going to forget what I hear. I'm likely going to forget. I want to see. I want to have PowerPoint presentation. I want to have something that I can see. I want to have visual stimulation for me to be able to learn. So understand yourself. When you're a visual person, even when you study, try to have mind maps, visual things, pictures that will help you learn and retrieve information, because that is important to you, for you to be able to learn. If you're not a visual learner, you try to be auditory. I see myself a lot. When I'm in a class, when I'm in a situation and I'm listening, I need to be very attentive because I get easily distracted. The minute I lose focus, I can't even retrieve any information because I'm distracted. So I am a typical visual person. The second one is what we call an auditory learner. Auditory people, they learn by one-on-one conversation. They can enjoy podcast, Visual people, they enjoy more your YouTube. They can learn from group discussion, oral presentation, video, but they want to, the key thing about them is that they retrieve information or they draw information into their system, into their brain through auditory senses, which means they use a lot. These are people who can sit in class quietly without even writing, just looking at the lecturer while they teach, and they remember everything that they hear. Most of the time you find people, whenever they write exams, they write tests, they rely more on what they heard from the lecturer than what they studied. So when they study, these people, most of the time, they want to be talking. These are the people, most of the time, when they study, they will ask you, please, let's ask each other questions. Because in that conversation, in that one-on-one, they remember things. They want to say it loud. These are the people you find them studying alone, but they recite. So when you hear somebody say, recite what you read, the person failed to understand. Not everybody learns like that. Some of you, reciting will work. That is why we'll tell you, write acronym, rhyme it out, sing it out. The people like that, you find that when they sing, they are going to remember that. And the other things about them is that they are very auditory. So usually I encourage people, if you are an auditory person, you are in a class setting, try to even record. Have a recorder when you go to class. This nowadays, your phone can record. Sit in the front, record, because the more you hear, auditory people, they don't want to sit in the back. They don't want to sit in the back because any noise that can happen in front of them, they are distracted, they can't hear well. Visual people, they want to sit where they can see. As long as they can see, they will be able to remember what they see. But because they are also distracted, anything that passes can distract them. When people come in, any movement can distract them. So you need to distinguish yourself between these two. And the last one is what we call a kinesthetic learner, or what we call practical learners. This one, they learn by hands-on activity, working, meeting, role play, note taking. I remember when I was a student as well at psychology, we used to do a lot of role plays, and I used to hate them. But what I've noticed, there are people who like them. There are people who like them. Why? Because it speaks to their way of learning. I mean, you will see this as well. You'll get into a psychology class and they will give you an assignment. One of your friends, you find he wants you to play out that particular assignment. He wanted to act it out. He wanted a role play. Why? It's their way of learning. So they are imposing their learning on you. So you need to be aware of that. There's nothing wrong doing that for your friend, as long as you can identify your way of learning and let your friend also help you. But don't copy each other. That is why when you study, you hear somebody say, ask me questions. And you're like, no, just study there alone. It is their way of learning. It's different from yours. And if you don't understand each other, you might find that you are clashing most of the time because you are lacking the knowledge about the different modalities. I've been in a classroom setting where I see people, everything that is being said, they're writing down. And you find you don't know what to write. You're just listening. It is the way they differ about learning. They're writing man-max, shorthand writing. It is their way of learning. Don't copy people as a student. Understand your modality. People who are more practical, they want to do practical. That is why these people, most of the time, they enjoy more practicals. You find even in class, at high school, you can do something in class, but the minute you go to the lab, it's like as if their spirit become more alive because it's more practical, it's action. These people, they don't want to sit a lot. They want to be doing something. They are very active. They want the hands-on things. Your learning modality also can tell you what course you will do well in. If you are very strong in practical, you want course that is more practical in nature, you find majority of students who succeed in practical courses, they have this particular learning modality. So you need to understand yours. I've been in different contexts where I see people in the library with earphones, studying with earphones like this. You wonder, how can a person study with earphones? And you judge them. You think they can't study like that. But they differ from you. We are different. The fact that we are different doesn't make us to be wrong. We are not wrong in what we are doing. We are just different from you who can study without earphone. I know myself. When I study, I can't put earphones here, but I can play music in the background. I want a music in the background. It helps me to concentrate because I'm not an auditory person. I'm a visual person. But there are some people, when they study, it must be complete silent. That is a preference. So never judge yourself because you prefer a particular modality. For you to succeed academically, you need to know what modality works for you, what study method works for you. I've done other videos where I speak about goal setting, where I speak about planning and time management, where I speak about how to excel academically. This video which I'm doing is actually a supplement to them. It's an addition to them. The minute you start to plan, you apply time management, you set your goals. The next step now is to study correctly. And how do you study correctly? You study correctly by applying the method that is right for you. Now you might ask yourself, what if when you do the assessment below, you end up getting scores which are similar? It means you can use either one of the method, but check the one that you've got the higher score compared to others. The highest score is the most dominant. What you need to know is that you have all of these modalities. All of them, you can use them. What I'm basically saying is that one of these is the most dominant in you. It's like what happened with the whole brain model. One of this study method or study modality or learning style is the most dominant. So you need to know which one is dominant, because the minute you know the one that is dominant is the one that you use the most. It's like all of us here, we've got two hands. We've got two hands. The hands, they do the same functions. The hands are structured the same way in terms of their bone structure and all of that. In terms of their veins, they're all structured the same way. But out of these two hands, one of them is dominant, one of them is less dominant. The same with the learning style. You have all of them, but there's going to be one particular that is dominant. The minute you know the dominant one, you use that. Imagine if you've got two hands, you have no clue which one is dominant, and you are busy all the time trying to use the one that is less dominant, and you realize you are not being effective. Imagine if you can discover the one that is dominant. So the learning style I'm teaching you now helps you identify the style that is dominant for you. So I want you to make sure that do the assessment, the screening below this video, and identify which learning style is dominant. It will help you improve your study method and study skill. And make sure that you listen to the other video where I speak about goal setting, where I speak up, and the one that I speak about time management and planning, and incorporate them in what you are doing most of the time. Apply this principle, they will help you succeed academically. Thank you, friends. Let me end there. And if you are not yet a subscriber, make sure that you click the subscribe button below this video. Click the red button, make sure that you subscribe, and make sure that if you like these videos, give them a thumbs up, press the like button, and share this video with as many people as possible. We need to spread the word. Share the video, share the channel, spread the word. Let people learn their learning modalities. How do they study? Encourage other people to listen to all the videos that we have here. Let me end there, and I love you, and continue living your life to the fullest.